Manchester United have agreed a deal in principle for the Atalanta midfielder known as Ederson. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to another video. Today's video is going to centre around this man right here. Ederson, currently of Atalanta. Well, according to Fabrizio Romano, he's given a deal in principle with Manchester United, the here we go treatment, as United are about to make their first big statement, their first big splash of this transfer window in the form of the Brazilian midfielder. We're going to be talking about this transfer. We're going to be talking about Ederson to Manchester United. But before we go any further discussing all of that and much more, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And of course, I encourage each and every single one of you to get involved in the comment section down below. Use and abuse that comment section, people, and talk to me on this transfer story. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling down below in that comment section. Use and abuse that comment section, people, and talk to me on this. I'm sure we have so much for great and interesting reading. So without further ado, we're going to get on with the conversation ourselves. Look, first and foremost, let me just say that I think this is a massive move by Manchester United. I think this is a smart move overall by Manchester United. A midfielder that has got all the tools, all the potential in the world to go on and reach new heights. I think this is a genius move. Like, I don't think he's like a world beater. I don't think he's like, you know, in the top echelon, the top bracket, the top draw, but he's somewhere slightly below that. But for a team like Manchester United that are currently in a somewhat rebuilding sort of process, it's a smart move. It's a smart move. Everything that this guy possesses, everything that this guy currently has and what he could potentially have if given the right treatment and development, this guy could be something really, really, really good for Manchester United. This guy has been on a lot of European clubs' radars for some time now. He's been always in transfer windows for the past few years, especially being heavily tipped to maybe leave Atalanta and go somewhere else. I know he was on Liverpool's radar for a while, but it has seemed like Manchester United have really been leading the charge these past several weeks and maybe even months over Ederson. And it seems that this has finally materialised into a proper move, as Fabrizio Romano has stated. He broke the news late last night that Ederson will be joining Manchester United with a breaking Ederson to Manchester United, here we go tweet. He goes on to say that the deal is done with Atalanta for 45 million euros package with add-ons included, agreement now in place, medical and formal steps to follow, but deal in place. Ederson will sign a 4-year deal plus option, as the Athletic reports. So 4 years plus the option that Man United always throw in there. So essentially a 5-year deal with 45 million euros package. For a player of his current ability, for a player of his potential, I think this is a very, very, very good move by Manchester United. I like the deal. And I don't want to say that being a Liverpool fan, but I genuinely do like the deal. He's currently 26 years of age. He'll be 27 in July. So, you know, maybe he's getting into his prime a little bit, but this probably is the perfect age for someone that is coming into a Man United side that needs to beef up their options in midfield. Casemiro's just gone. Ugarte is still there somehow. He's an upgrade on Ugarte. He'll obviously be the replacement for Ederson, and this should just be the beginning. Obviously, we know that Man United are going to be taking their season up another level next year. They're going from 1 game a week to 2 games. The rotation is going to have to be there. It's going to be interesting to see how most of those players handle it. It's going to be interesting to see how Michael Carrick himself, as the Man United head coach, handles it. But this is a very, very good start to the transfer window, in my opinion. Ederson, see, I can't say I've seen him religiously at Atalanta. I've maybe watched the odd few games here and there, especially when it comes to them being in Europe the past couple of years. But I've got to say the guy looks really good. The guy looks promising. Defensive midfielder, a destroyer, but he's also got a bit of technical ability about him, bit of flair about him, bit of, that Brazilian bit of, calmness to his play that you kind of get where, he can turn out of a press. He knows where his players are. He's got good awareness about him. He can pass a ball. He can move. He can destroy, tackle, doesn't mind doing the dirty work kind of thing. His work rate's good. And I think he's a very good complement to his midfield partner, which is going to be Kobbie Mainoo next season. So him and Mainoo in the midfield, I think, complements each other really well. Whereas Mainoo may do the whole, sort of number 8 type of role, where he's a bit more box to box maybe, and he's obviously very press resistant. Ederson will do the dirty work. Ederson will do the dirty work, and then he'll move the ball quickly forward to the more creative and more dangerous players, like your Bruno Fernandez's, like your Mateus Cunha's, like, to an extent, your Brian Mbeumo's, those kinds of players. That's what Ederson's role will be. To keep it simple, but to keep things ticking over, to control, and to destroy. That will basically be his job, and he does that really well for Atalanta. The only thing, obviously, that does, in my opinion, raise a bit of a question mark is how quickly he will take to the Premier League. Look, it's always a question that you have whenever a foreign talent comes into the Premier League for the first time, is how quickly are they going to adapt? You always compare the two leagues. Italy, you're more likely to have a bit more time on the ball. Italy, you're more likely to be against solid defensive structures. And, that kind of has resonated in the Premier League somewhat as a growing trend with certain teams that are more defensively minded in the Premier League. So maybe he might fit in that regard, but in terms of the physicality aspect, in terms of the intensity aspect, that's going to be interesting to see how this guy manages to adapt, to change to his surroundings, that kind of thing. It's going to be interesting to see how that does work. But you've got to say that with the way that Michael Carrick has set up his midfield, with the way that Michael Carrick has gone about his business so far as the Manchester United head coach, he's kept things very, very simple. And that's not a dig, by the way. That is like, that's just smart. That is just smart. Keeping things simple, not overcomplicating it, is very smart. A very smart thing to do. So there is an element there that suggests that he may actually bed in a lot quicker than what a lot of other people may or may not do. So there is that element, but of course it's not a foregone conclusion. Like I say, there is still the physicality aspect that he's got to handle, the intensity, the level of high press from certain teams. It's going to be interesting to see how he does adapt. But like I say, there's no doubt about it. If you watch him play for Atalanta, whether it be in Serie A, whether it be in European competitions, the guy has got a lot of talent to his game. He's got a lot of quality to his game, and he's very intelligent. He's very aware. He's got all the tools to make him one of the better defensive midfielders in the Premier League currently. And again, that pains me to say. I want to be a Liverpool fan here and be like, this guy's not very good. This guy's useless. This guy is a joke. Man United are a joke for buying him, whatever. But I can't. I genuinely do like the guy. I genuinely do rate this transfer from Manchester United, even though I don't want to say it. I don't want that to happen. But that is unfortunately the case. And I think for the money that's being spent here by United, it's not stupid amounts of money. It's very smart business overall. That I'm a little bit puzzled as to why maybe other teams aren't exactly looking at this kind of deal. I know that Liverpool want a defensive midfielder as well, so I'm a little bit surprised that they seemingly dropped their interest in him. Arsenal are always looking out for a defensive-minded player. And maybe even to a certain extent, maybe someone like a Aston Villa, for example, might have wanted someone like this to kind of beef up their Champions League squad overall. So I'm a little bit surprised that maybe more teams weren't seemingly involved. This seemingly was a clear run for Manchester United to get such a player. But United won't be complaining. United have gone about their business in a very good way. But it's now how you build from this. A lot of transfers like this, for example, they may look good individually, but they may look even better as part of a collective. And, you know, when you look at that Man United team, it is a bit thin. It is a bit thin when you look at certain areas, and obviously when you consider that, like I said before, they're going to be playing 2 games a week. They're going to be back in the Champions League. They're going to be playing Champions League, Premier League, Champions League, Premier League, Champions League, Premier League. They're going to need a bigger squad. So this is a very, very good start. It's a smart piece of business overall when you consider the money, the player, who he is, what he possesses, what he can grow into, and all of that kind of stuff. Who he complements, what he can do for the team, looking at how he'll fit in. It all makes sense. But United need to obviously grow from here. This is a very good replacement for Casemiro. This is a very good upgrade on Ugarte. This is a very, very good complementary piece to Kobbie Mainoo. But there needs to be more. And I'm not saying it as if, like, you know, it's not going to happen. Of course it is. We're in the very, 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 very early days of the transfer window. So I'd be very surprised if this is just one and done for United. It won't be. They're obviously going to sign probably about 4 or 5 players, I would guess. At least 4 or 5 players. But very good start to the window for Man United, if I have to be objective about it. I'm annoyed that they're actually, you know, using their brains, seemingly. I hope this doesn't work out. I hope this crashes and burns. That's the hope. But this is a very, very smart piece of business, in my personal opinion. And there you have it. Those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys are thinking and feeling, so let me know down below in the comment section what you make about Ederson joining Manchester United. It's been given the here we go treatment by Fabrizio Romano. We are just pending the tying up of loose ends, the formalities, the medical, all of that stuff before this is made, done, dusted, and officially confirmed. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling in that comment section. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new, want to see more content like this. Both things are always done for greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. And I'll see you and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll speak to you again very, very soon.